Hello, beautiful witches. This is Dawn. I hope you are well and staying warm. We're getting closer to spring, so happy. I wanted to talk about what I'm going to be doing, getting more into. I do a lot of shadow work, but it's not structured. It's not consistent. So I want to correct that. I want to spend more time in shadow work, in journaling about that shadow work. So I want to talk about that for a minute. If you watched my last video, I talked about being very upset with the government, the media, health authorities, and I felt like there was a lot of propaganda and a lot of lying and withholding information. You can watch that video. It's the one right before this one. But my question that I kept bringing up is, what is a witch to do? We have a certain amount of power, depending on your level of belief in yourself and in your magic. What are we to do? Are we to curse the government? Are we to curse the media for lying to us? Are we to curse the health authorities for withholding information that could have helped us? I don't know, except for my own personal opinion and my own personal experience is that whenever I get involved all in politics, I feel like I'm being distracted. I feel like I'm wasting my energy. I'm not saying protesting and getting out there and voicing your opinion and voicing where you stand. I'm not saying that's wrong. There's something going on in Canada called the Freedom Convoy. So there are thousands upon thousands of people in, a lot of them are truck drivers and just people lining the roads with flags and signs and showing support. They are protesting against the vaccine mandates. Now, some of you, like the media, like the government, will only hear anti-vax. But they're not anti-vax. And this is what's so frustrating is I don't feel like people are paying attention. They're not anti-vax. They're anti-mandate. They're anti-government, forcing people who have not been vaccinated to have to stay home. They're not allowed to go anywhere. They can't go to the grocery store even, except for very basic essentials. So it's really becoming more like the Nazis, where you have to show your papers, right? And the people are saying we've had enough. They're not anti-vaxxers. In fact, one report said that the majority of the people in the convoy who are actually driving the trucks and all that are vaccinated, like 80-something%. So it's not anti-vax. It's anti-mandate. So the government continues to label them as terrorists, as anti-vax, and violent. They keep accusing them of being violent, but they're not. They're none of that. And it's just a grassroots uprising saying, we've had enough. And you have to understand that governments only have power because the people give it to them. And once they get that power, if they're a certain type of government, they can really control the people. Just look at China. Okay, so anyway, and here I go. I'm off on a tangent. I'm very upset about this. So what do? Do I get mad? Do I curse them? Do I cast spells? What do I do? What I have found is that the best way to change a group of people is to raise their consciousness. So instead of being so focused on the government and how my way of governing needs to be in place and damned if you oppose me, that kind of attitude I feel like doesn't do any good. What does do more good, is more powerful, is if I raise my consciousness And then in my compassion and love, in making the most loving decision whenever I do anything, that is going to impact people. So, for instance, I'm at work and somebody's angry and they're yelling and stuff like that. If I do not react in my ego and I calmly say, what can I do to help? What can I do to fix this? What needs to be done to make this right so it works? And in fact, I've done that before. I've stood there and let the guy scream at me. I could tell he was not really angry at me. He was really angry at the system was not working for him, and nobody was listening. So I said to him, I'm going to go write an email. I'm going to let people know and get this fixed. And I came back with the email. I printed it out and I showed it to him. I swear to God, this guy started crying. Because finally, somebody was listening. I feel like that is more impactful when I respond to somebody with compassion instead of your opinion is wrong, and attack them like, why would you think that? That's stupid. Things like that. If I respond with compassion and really hear them out and listen so that I get the truth, it's really easy to misunderstand. It's really easy when you've got your own attitude and your own opinion. Okay, so I'm off on a tangent again. Let's get back on track. Shadow magic, shadow work, journaling. When I was 10 years old, I started journaling. I was going through some heavy-duty emotional stuff at the time, and I did not have anybody I could talk to, so I started a journal. And all the years through with my foster parents, I felt like I was accused of things that I didn't do, and I got punished for lying, saying that I didn't do them. And so I was very confused, and I actually questioned my mental sanity. And so writing it down really helped me a lot, because I felt like nobody was listening. And when I wrote it down, it felt like I was getting it out. But it was so confusing. I think I was around 17, 18 years old. I threw all my journals away. I know. Whew. I wish I had them, because I would love to read them, because that was a really crazy time for me. But journaling is very powerful, and my experience with it is I'll get really upset about something, really angry, and I'll just write F-bombs and all kinds of things and accusing people of being stupid and whatever. And then at the end, I correct it by saying, this is not really what's happening here, and this is really what I need to be doing, and this is what is going to fix it. And it helps me get it all out and really see the truth of what's going on. All right. So I want to mention real quickly that at 2019, I found out about junk journaling. And I looked at that, and really true junk journaling has junk in it. It's not the pretty fancied up junk journaling that a lot of people do. True junk journaling is junk put together in a book. And I couldn't get into that. So then I came across people who are really dressing up their junk journals, and I'm like, that looks kind of interesting. And I kind of mixed media art in with it and stuff, and I thought, this is kind of cool, but there's nowhere to write. So a lot of them say, oh, here's a little piece of paper tucked away, or there's a flip out you can write on it, or here's a journaling card you can write on. It's way too small, not enough room. So I want to show you some things. Anyway, so this is kind of like my shadow journal, and this is all so nice, isn't it? And I put in there some, we went to see some concerts. and Samhain, my experience with Samhain, and it's got a little kitty on a pumpkin and slid in there in the pocket, and then I thought that was so cool. And then I got into some things with my mom, so I worked that out in here. It really did help a lot. So this is her really negative communication with me. I printed it out and I put it in here. And let's see if you can read it. So I don't need to be reading this all the time. I wrote it down because I wanted a record of it, and how I responded to her and how I dealt with it. Yeah, so this is just me working stuff out. So my mom called me ignorant, but that's past us. We got that over with. And just this really was very helpful. But I needed space to write, so I had to have places where I could write stuff out, and that worked for me. Except, when you're looking for a journal, open them up, because it could bind, especially these. This one binds and broke. So then I really got into it, okay? So I really got into a tangent with the junk journaling, and that's when I realized, this isn't, something's not working here, because I don't have enough space to write. Just tiny little spaces. I can't write on that. So I did take out put aside some pages to write on. It looks really cool, but where am I going to write? So I need to make more space. And usually what happens, what then ended up happening is this one here. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, I like how that's all laid out. But I had to wait until I could figure out the design. How am I going to dress this up? What colors am I going to use? And it just ended up, back to just writing. Nothing special here, just writing. And I kind of would like to get back into dressing it up and getting into the art part of it, because I think that's huge in letting your inner child draw and paint and color, and it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be something that you could sell, but I really believe it's part of working on the shadow stuff. So I am going to make a journal from scratch. I thought about just buying a journal, but I think making it is going to be a little bit more impactful, meaningful, and I think it'll have more of a specialness to me. And so anyway, I'm going to start making videos. I'm going to make this journal from scratch, and then I'm going to start using it, and I will videotape it and show you what I do for shadow work. And hopefully it will help you with your shadow work. It'll give you some tips, some tricks, some ideas that maybe will help you, okay? So I think that's it. Okay, that's all I've got, and I hope you are doing well and staying warm. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your comments. I love reading your comments. So do something today that makes you feel good and brings you joy. I love you all, and until next time, blessed be.